Good day, 3 marathons in 3 days competitors. This is a quick race briefing so that you have all the details. You can in fact just go and read it up in the competitor information pack, and then you can contact me now if you have any questions, or you can speak to Wayne during the race. There. Most of this stuff I'm just going to flick through. You can stop the video and read anything that you need more detail on, but don't break any of the rules because we will penalize you. And you need your right mandatory gear. You need somewhere to carry water. You have to have your race bib on the front of your body, whistle obviously, and you need some nutrition. You must carry the maps and the course descriptions. We give that to you as photocopies in a Ziploc bag. If you are doing all 3 marathons, which you are, that's what this race briefing is for, you also have to carry the snake bandages. So we only accept 2, and the one's called Elastoplast or Handy, that's actually 2 different brands, or the Aero. They're different lengths and difference in how they stretch, but that's all we'll accept. Don't turn up with that, don't bother coming, we won't allow you on the course. Go to the chemist and buy the right gear. Carry it with you all the time. Wear your race bib on your front. We need to see who you are, and if we take any photographs, we need to be able to identify who you are. And of course, take your own water and your own nutrition. We do give you little bits and pieces at the checkpoints, but we're not responsible for feeding you for your marathons. You gotta look after yourself. Bib numbers are quite interesting. The ones with the zebra stripes are people that have permanent bib numbers. In other words, that number is theirs for life to keep. The ones in the bright colours are our baby zebra stripes. They're the ones doing their 5th marathon, 3 marathons this year. And the rest of you have the white bibs. And if you squint, you can see just on the edge there, it says for myself that I've done, this is my 10th 3 marathons in 3 days. So there are there's dates on your bibs if you registered within an ample time for us, because we obviously need to get the bibs printed. So in terms of safety, make sure that you're in good health, right? Please do not come and do this if you are ill, sick, not fit, injured, because we have very, very limited support out on the course, right? We've got 1 checkpoint marshal at a checkpoint and 1 vehicle. We cannot deal with people that are turning up and not ready to do the event. We may have the emergency services come. We haven't had confirmation. There's minimal first aid around. Pretty much we will phone 000. And then also that will be a very extended time for help to arrive, because some of the areas are quite remote and there's no vehicle access. On the back of your bib, you can record some details. Please don't just walk off the course and go home without telling us. We have to check you in and check you out of those remote areas so that we know people that have gone in come out the other side. So also, just if you're on the road somewhere, if you're pulling out of the event and going home, you have to let us know, because otherwise we're driving around looking for you. I think that's pretty obvious, but now that I've stated it, so be it. The bus is, you'll get information about the bus being sent out, so just check that. If your name is not on that list, you are not on the bus, okay? So make sure you get that sorted. Study the maps that is in the competitor information pack. Different start locations this year. We have not doing the old course for the past 8 years. We're last year in the virtual, and this year we have got new locations for each day. We have also got new locations, except for day 3, we finish in different places this year. So be careful that you study and know where you need to be. The course is challenging. It's much harder now with more hills on day 1 and day 2. So study the maps. I'm not going to read through all this because you have access to all the course information, and I will just point out a few different things to you as when I bring up the course. Signage, there are arrows, these little pink arrows on the course, follow those arrows. There's tape, flagging tape as well, follow only the blue and orange flagging tape. This last photo here is in Snake Gully. You're actually on the path. That photo, I'm standing on the path that we're walking on, so you can see that it's very overgrown. It's quite dry, lucky for us, because I went through there a few weeks ago and it was quite wet and even worse. So you can faintly see a path, but you've got to really concentrate. Recommendation is you don't go through there on your own, right? Buddy up before you get there and go with someone. This is on Marathon 1. We also have some new signage that will go up. The runners on road will be out on the roads. Please watch for cars. The roads are not closed except for Sunday. The Lake Morris Road is only closed from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So our tail end runners, there will be vehicles on the roads. Be careful. The best place to go and check out the course is on this link that's down that I've sent through to people. I'll just see if I've got that open. And it's quite nice. You won't be able to see the whole thing because of the way that I'm recording this, but these little dots here, they're not related to the numbers on the map, right, that you take with you, but they are just giving you information about all the different creeks and where you turn and all this sort of stuff. So going onto there and just have a quick look to give you a bit of an idea of where you're going. There is also, I can just go down a bit, there is also the profiles at the bottom, so you can check the distances and things by following it along there. So that's quite handy. I'm not going to go through all of that with you today, sorry. Check-in, race starts at 6:30, so you've got to be there at about 6, grab your bag, get your stuff ready and go 6:30. The early starters will go at 6 o'clock, so they get treated a little bit differently. In the race, there's water, but there are lots of spaces where there's no water. So you're not going to have any tap water for about 15 kilometres or 16 kilometres on day 1 and day 2. So be very careful that you carry enough water. If you're going to drink out of creeks and stuff, you've got to be really, really careful. We have got some Giardia, Leptospirillina, I can't even pronounce it, okay, stuff that can make you sick if you drink water that are contaminated. So purify your water if you're not going to carry enough water. We don't really have escape routes. Pretty much go forward for help. Once you've passed through a checkpoint, those people pack up and go home. There will be nobody there when you go back. So, for example, go into Wright's Lookout, go through Wright's Lookout, day 1, 1.5 kilometres into the race. Once everyone's in, which is within the first 20 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever, the marshals pack up, take all the signage, they're gone. If you come back out that way, you've got to go and knock on a house somewhere close by, which is not that close, in Kuranda. You've got to find the nearest house and look for help because everyone's gone, right? There's no one behind you. So keep that in mind that if you need to escape, you need to go forward. If you go back, you will need to elicit someone's help that is not going to be part of our event. There's limited mobile coverage, so you can, if you've got Telstra, you'd be better off. There are some toilets at the start-finish locations, except for day 3. So for the start of Marathon 3, you're going to be setting up your own little toilet, and you're going to be recycling your own stuff that goes in that toilet. And so preferably don't do that. Watch the video on our Facebook page. I did one this morning about that. I showed you the course markings already. Do not follow anyone else. You must have this dynamic running label, must be on the sign, otherwise it is not our sign. And there's some pink tape out on, for example, on Snake Gully as well as Viviers Track. That's not our tape. We did not put that up. The only tape that belongs to us is the blue and orange. Follow the blue and orange and the pink, our pink signs. This is standard race rules. Clean up your mess, take your litter with you, watch out for the animals. No headphones. Out in the bush, mate, you got to listen for other people calling for help, right? This has got nothing to do with you having to have a good day. It's got to do with we have remote areas. Someone might need help blowing their whistle, and you off with the fairies listening to your music. Not on, okay? Pay attention, listen, look, and help if someone needs it. You'll climb through some gates, so leave them as they are. What's this? You must get your name ticked off at the checkpoints. That's because we need to know who's gone in and we need to know who's come out, okay? Otherwise, we don't know you're missing. So checkpoints are there. Smith's Track. Wright's Lookout will be the first one. That's 1.5 K. You get your name ticked off there, you're in Barron Gorge. Then you run through the Barron Gorge, you come out at the Smith's Track checkpoint, get your name ticked off. Now we know everyone's out, right? So that's the system. Go into Snake Gully, come out at Closey. Go into Crystals, come out at the finish. You can't go down Crystals after about 5:30 p.m. The marshal will let you run up on the road. You'll finish your marathon, don't worry, you'll finish the day, but you will not go down Crystals because it gets super dark. It's really steep and tree roots, single track, very dangerous. Do not go in there. If you do, disqualified, go home. We don't want you in our race if you can't listen to our instructions, because that's important in terms of our safety. Okay, so at the checkpoint, you'll find a little bit of food and stuff, but there's minimal. You've got to carry your own gear. We are using Fix Nutrition, so you can have a look at that information. I've posted that before. Drop boxes, you must put all your stuff in the drop box on Friday morning, everything for all 3 days. All right, so there is an opportunity to put stuff in a drop box on Saturday morning because our drop boxes are being picked up at my house on Friday night, and I don't even see those people again for the whole weekend. We catch up on Monday, Tuesday when we go for a run. Okay, so don't put anything in that box that you want back. Do not leave your shoes in there. Do not put any bags in there. Definitely don't put any fruit in there because I'm going to deal with all this stuff 3 weeks after the race. It starts smelling up my house. Just follow the rules in terms of the drop boxes, and you can grab your stuff at the various locations. You don't really need a support crew, but if you have one, that's lovely for us. Please send them to the checkpoints so that we have extra people there in case we need some help. We'll elicit our help from our competitors' people if we can. So at the finish, love that photo. Like I said, new start locations, also new finish locations, except for day 3. That's still the same. This photo here, that's Sharon, will be right at the back, but that's taken on that Crystal Cascades track before you start dropping straight down, right? Straight down. It's steep as hell. Estimated finish times. Okay, that black snake's got nothing to do with the estimated finish times unless you think you should run faster to get away from the wildlife. But this is really, because the Marathon 1 and 2 are both new, this is very... I don't know what time you're going to do at the front. Just run. We'll see. Pick up your medals at the end. We are still waiting for the 3 marathons in 3 days medals for day 1 and 2 and 3 that was caught in quarantine with the lockdown. Transport. We've got a minibus. So when you finish your race, have something warm to wear, have some food in your drop bag that's going to the finish line, because you are going to sit there maybe for an hour or longer waiting for the minibus to take you home. Right? We only got one, seats 12 people. We're not going to take one person, then come back and take one person. We fill it up before it goes. So just be aware that you might be hanging around the finish line a bit. There are some creeks and things you can swim in on, well, a creek you can swim in on day 1 and day 3. So if it's a nice warm day, which I think it will be, you can do that. Prize giving, if you can, come and join us at Edge Hill for the prize giving. Otherwise, please collect your trophy if you're one of the top runners at before you go home. So because they're gorgeous, lovely glass crystal trophies. So we're really going to be difficult sending those out in the mail. Like I said, the courses are new this year. So you need to just be careful that you do not go the wrong way. On day 1, we start in Kuranda in a new spot, right? You run through 2 areas that are quite remote. When you come through and over Snake Gully, which is from this red dot down to this red dot, that's Snake Gully. It's only 5k, but you are going to go really slow through there. It's quite deteriorated and very difficult to follow the course. You need to look for snakes, you need to look for lawyer vines, you've got to look down and you've got to look up at the same time. That's why you want to have a buddy with you. Okay, better to try and do that together. When you get there, in the past, we went to Cedar Park up here somewhere, right? No, this time you're going to go towards the dam, over the dam wall, past and finish in crystals down at the bottom there. The other difference for day 1 on the 3 on Marathon 1 is that in the past we went through and stopped at Speewah Campground. You don't do that anymore, right? You're coming out of the Barron Gorge and you just stay on the Smith's Track. You just stay on Smith's Track. It is a road, no vehicle there. There's gates that we can't get in, but stay on that road. And when you get to the turn where you used to turn off to Speewah Campground, don't go down there. There's no one at Speewah Campground. You will miss the checkpoint if you go there. The checkpoint is actually on the road, like where there are houses. So you just got to stay on that road until you get there. So that's a change for day 1. A change for day 2. Well, day 2 is completely different. Similar would be this loop, right? But you're actually going it in the opposite direction. So on day 2, you start over here at the dam and you run the opposite direction to what we've done before. So you're coming through Bridle Creek Road first. The reason for that is safety. There are 2 gates there. We have no key to get in there. And if someone gets injured, we have to walk in to get you. And so that's going to be dangerous for our back runners, tired at the end of the day to come through there because it's a long day, for us to then do a rescue at late in the afternoon, which is why we've changed the course. When you get to the checkpoint, you run 3k out and 3k back. At the start, you run, I think it's about 1k out and 1k back because the loop is only 34 kilometers. You go over the hill, this is Verviers Track, and then when you get to the other end, you've got to come back to the dam, so you've got to turn right and head to the fig tree, which is where you will pass the previous day. You'll go past the fig tree, and then you run back all the way to the dam. So those are the main differences on day 1 and day 2. On day 3, where's day 3? On day 3, we don't start at Cedar Park anymore. We just start on the road, on the side of the road, pretty much. Well, we start in the middle of the road, right? It's not many vehicles. And you will run out towards Cedar Park and back, and then up to the highway and back. And this over here is where we start, on the side of the road, and that's where those little bush camp toilets are. So I would recommend just medals. And then you can contact me now if you have any questions, or you can speak to Wayne during the race. Thanks, guys. Don't go to the toilet at the start, all right? Just run down here and go somewhere in the bushes later.